Thank you so much. The Joy Luck Club sounds fun, though. I think Suzette's going to start a new thing. That's really fun. No, our Joy Club is really entertaining. What it is it's through Salt Lake County Aging Services, and we do it in senior centers. Right now, I'm over the Kearns Joy Club, and it's really for caregivers to bring their care receiver and just have some joyful moments. So we also have booklets if you can't attend or your care receiver is not able to attend. We have booklets that you guys can do some joyful activities together at home too. So if we don't have the Joy Luck Club, but we do have the Joy Club. Well, first of all, thank you for having me today. This is such an amazing conference to be part of. So as caregivers, you guys are pretty stretched thin. So I can tell you as a case manager, you are already ahead of the game by being involved in things like this. The support and the resources and the education that come from something like this is pretty priceless. So, as she mentioned, I'm Bonnie Gillespie. I'm a case manager with Salt Lake County. I actually case manage in our caregiver support program. So thank you for handing these books out. Sorry I didn't have them out before. But they're coming around. I'm going to touch base on it in a minute. It's our Managing Care Guide. So for this presentation, there's a couple of things. You should be handed this Managing Care Guide. And then I'm also going to be going over our Finding Resource Talking Point. So that should be in your folder. If you want to find that, I'm going to refer to this quite a bit too. For starters, I don't know how well you can see this. I thought we would maybe get a little bit more full screen, but this is what we have for now. You can see this is my friend Jamie. This is her car. And Jamie is a coworker of mine. She does our dealing with dementia. She's also a case manager. But Jamie is a part-time caregiver for her mom who has dementia. And her mom, backstory to that, her mom lives in Sanpete County. It's a little more country than what we are here. And she pulled in recently to help her mom out, and she pulled into this is Jamie's car here, and she pulled into this little line of Rice Krispies. and as you can see, the pup's confused too. If you can see the dog up there. Anyways, Jamie was so confused, and as her mom came out of the house to meet her in the driveway, Jamie said, "Mom, what are the Rice Krispies about?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I just wanted to feed the chickens. I thought feeding the chickens would be a good thing to do today." And Jamie's just thinking, well, we haven't had chickens in 15 years, so there are no chickens. But she didn't verbalize that at all. She just went along with the journey. "Oh, good idea, Mom. That's an excellent idea. Feeding the chickens is a really important thing." So as they go into the house, they come across a pile bigger than this of Rice Krispie treats. And her mom stops her right at the pile and says, "Jamie, did you drop some cereal in the driveway?" And Jamie just thinks to herself, yes, I did." And her mom says, "It's okay, the chickens will eat it. Don't worry about cleaning that up. The chickens will get to it." And okay, good. I'm glad that the chickens are covered. Anyways, this is a really important resource that I want. I mean, of course, we're going to talk about how to find resources, but a huge resource that we can share is just joining in the journey, right? Joining in the journey. I want to share, I love Jamie and her stories about her mom. Every time she goes and takes care of her mom, I'm always looking forward to hearing about a new experience that she comes back with. I'm going to share one more really quick. So Jamie had spent the entire morning taking her mom to medical appointments. As we all know, they can take a whole day. They finally sit down to eat. They go out to lunch. They get their food. It's brought to the table. Jamie hops up to grab drinks for the both of them, gets back to the table, and The mozzarella sticks that were delivered were nowhere to be found on the table. And here's Jamie. She's feeling so guilty. Like, my mom's been so hungry. I haven't checked in with her about eating. I haven't, made sure she was feeling okay. So she must have grubbed up all of those mozzarella sticks that fast. So she's feeling really guilty, but she went along with it. They ate lunch, and they're on their way home. And her mom is filtering through her purse, trying to find her house keys. And the mozzarella sticks are in Mom's purse. And so Jamie just didn't say anything, but Mom said, Jamie, why did you put these mozzarella sticks in my purse? And Jamie said, thinking again, oh my gosh, okay, good to know that that's where those went, at least. I'm sorry, Mom. I thought just in case we were hungry later, we could indulge. And they did, right there in the car. They both went for the mozzarella sticks. So, a very good example of joining in the journey. We just never know what we're going to get. You never know what you're going to get. And just stepping back, taking a moment and thinking, gosh, I could get angry right now, I could be frustrated, or I could just join them where they're at. And I feel like as a case manager, I have the luxury to be in many homes and see many different families using many different methods. And I tell you what, the most success that I see happening in homes are coming from homes where the caregiver has decided to join their loved one on their journey. I've also seen the opposite, where the frustration's happening and they just can't do it, and the frustration that occurs sometimes just is very overwhelming, and it builds a block for caregiving. So join them in that journey. But today I'm going to be focusing on resources. So I am, again, a case manager for the Caregiver Support Program, where we provide information and resources, limited respite. So we have a small respite program, education program, support groups, and coaching and consults. Today, again, we're finding resources. So resources. If you pull out your finding resources talking point, we're going to kind of define what resources are, right? Resources are material, money, people, and other products and services that help a person be more easily get through life, right? It's meant to provide support. It's meant to provide some relief. And it's important to find the right resource, one that will lead you to a needed result. So how do we find the right resource? That's the question that we're going to answer today. So in order to find the right resource, we're really going to answer three questions, right? What outcome or result do I need? Second one, what type of product or service will make that possible? And third, what order or delivery process is going to work best for me? Resources are not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. A resource that might change the life of one caregiver is not going to do the same for another. So it's important to know and identify what resource is going to be actually helpful for you. So an example here, a caregiver knows that they are exhausted from a lack of time off. Our outcome is going to be that I need time off. The product or service is going to be someone to sit with Dad. So in this case, it's not going to be a product that's resolving the outcome. It's going to be a service. The service being someone needs to sit with Dad. And the process, someone that I trust will come into Dad's home one night a week so that I can get away. Okay? So there is an example here. Well, actually, I'm going to get to that in a second. I'd rather cover what looking at the outcome actually looks like first. So the outcome in that example, just under number 1, okay, It shows a caregiver who is extremely exhausted, okay? You might be desperate. They need some time off. They need some time away. They might be working and they just need a break, okay? So that is the outcome really is that I need some time to myself, either to go to lunch or just go and run an errand without another worry. So next we're going to think about something that is going to make your day better. Even if you want to close your eyes and think about like what a perfect day looks like to you. What is going to make that day a perfect day? What is going to happen to make that day better? So number 2, that's where we're going to be. And I don't know if you have a pen and you can make this personal, or you don't have to fill this out and you can make copies with this blank one if you'd like. But number 2, that's what we're looking at here. What is the outcome or result that I really need? Maybe it's not time off. Maybe it's a toilet riser or a bidet to stop from all the UTIs happening. You know, it could be a product and not necessarily a service that really is what's going to be the best for resource for you. So then also you're going to ask yourself as part of that, why? Why is that the outcome that I'm reaching for? So then what type of product or service would make that outcome possible? We want to start here with a broad search, right? Just using the internet. Putting in a string of words of like, can I get transportation to medical appointments when I can't take off work to get my loved one to her medical appointments? Typing into the internet and using a string of words might help. Calling 211 or a national agency hotline. That last one there is really good. I don't know if anyone has ever visited eldercare.acl.gov. That is their phone number listed there too. They have a really great caregiver corner. They have lots of great resources and different classes and courses that can help be a support. So we want to start by using the internet and examples of what we might be looking for. Is there an agency or program that can provide senior shower or senior services, or a low-income agency that can help me get my senior showered, my loved one showered, or legal help? So learning during your search is where we're going to hit number 5 on this, finding resources. So we always want to, as we're going through some of our research, we want to list any of the progress that we make, as we know that using the internet can be kind of a rabbit hole, right? We get down and we see one thing that might be good and we keep clicking and we see other things that might be good, and at the end of it, we might have lost really what we were looking for in the beginning. So it's important to make a list, name and contact info for some of those processes that, or programs or agencies that might have you've noticed were helpful. And here we're going to set up a process, okay? A personal example of this process for me was that my mom uses a lot of incontinence supplies. It just is what she does. And I was having a hard time keeping up with them, delivering them to her. They're so expensive, as we all know. But what we ended up doing was finding them online, creating a subscription, and they get mailed to her regularly. There was a little bit of math involved, not too much because I'm not great with math, but we figured it out, and now she's getting her subscription. Mind you, she does call me every 1 to 2 days before delivery saying, "I'm desperate, Bonnie. I'm running out of wipes. I need them." And I just checked my subscription. Yes, Mom, those will be delivered tomorrow. So I'm glad you're on top of it. Yes, they will be delivered. So that is what's working for me right now. It's taken a load off where I'm not getting an emergency call during a soccer game. while I'm trying to make dinner, something like that, where my mom's desperate and needs those supplies right away. I can already look, and the subscription set up, Mom, it's delivered tomorrow. So that has worked for me. Again, not a one size fits all, right? We all need different types of resources. So maybe it looks different to you. But when you're looking at that, you also want to make sure that you're paying attention to different delivery. If they charge for delivery, like the beautiful thing of COVID is there's been a lot more delivery options open up to us, right? Some of them are not great, and some of them charge too much. So it's important that you kind of look and make sure that you know what you're expecting, and you're not signing anything or spending too much money, because that can cause an additional stress. But it's important to try. Don't be afraid to try that for sure. Oh, we went back. Okay. So a key point here is that as caregivers, we really can waste valuable time, money, and energy if we don't find out what resource we really need, right? If we just place a Band-Aid over a gaping wound, it's just not going to do it. So it's important to really figure out that outcome. So the outcome, product or service, and process are all equally important, but really determining what we need will make it so that we can decrease fatigue and frustration. So really quickly, while I have a couple minutes, I want to go over this really fast. And I'm sorry that we got a little bit of a late start. So I just identified a couple things in this managing care guide. If you can pick it up, I just want to go over a couple of things really quick that I find to be most helpful. Like I said, as a case manager, I'm going into different homes every day. I don't know what I'm going to expect. I don't know what the family situations necessarily are. I don't know all those details. But this right here is a resource tool that goes to every home I am in. Doesn't matter if they're millionaires or if they're super low income and qualify for income services. This is a tool that can benefit every family and home that I go in. So you can see in the index or in the content, it touches on learning to manage care, identifying care needs and abilities, involving family and others, organizing tasks and appointments, tracking symptoms and behaviors, choosing products and services, and making choices about aging. So really quick, I'm going to flip over to some of my favorites. One of my first favorites is page 9. This is a huge help to a lot of the homes that I go into. And it really just goes over a person's ADLs. So we want to look at the care receiver and find out what their abilities are. Can they do any of these activities of daily life on their own? And if they can't, how much assistance do they need? Do they need me to just stand there and give cues? Like, hey, Dad, don't forget to wash your underarms. Hey, Dad, don't forget to wipe. Those do they need cueing? Or do they need actual physical assistance from me? Okay. The reason why I love this so much is it's helpful for us to continue to kind of refer to, but it's really great in an emergency situation when a caregiver has to leave or be gone or not be part of it for a little while, that you can pass this on to a substitute. Whoever's coming in to support and help, you can say, look, these are the things that this care receiver, my loved one, is capable of doing and not capable of doing. And I hope that you can stand in and realize that they're not just trying to not do it or be combative or anything. Maybe they're just not able to really process it. So here's what I have for my loved one. That one's really, really good to leave with kind of a substitute caregiver. The next one, I wanted to focus really quick. I'm sorry, I'm almost out of time. So this section is on involving family and others. That is huge, 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 huge. We just can't go it alone. this requires family and others to help, right? Caregiving full-time requires some help. So focusing specifically on page 16, so the back of that. When we're holding a family meeting, it doesn't have to be family, but a community type meeting of the caregiver team that you have for your loved one, it's really good to address page 16 very first. It really talks about like what a person's able or willing to do, identifying people that are not able to do certain things. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. So it identifies that within this meeting, so you can say, hey, I have no problems doing this specific task. Like, ask me to do it, and I'm there for you. So it's a very good tool in identifying some of that. And then lastly, really quick before I close here, page 29. Page 29 is very similar. You're going to find similar content to this talking point. So it's really good. I like to make copies for my clients. So when I take this book, sometimes I'll make copies of certain things that I identified in the home that could benefit. But again, identifying outcomes. What do I need most? What help do I need to make that possible? The service I need would ... 3 things I wish I had time to do, like read a book or take a class. And what help do I need so I can take a break and feel stronger? And ultimately, you know, we need that. We need time away from caregiving. We need some time to distress or to step away so that we're not as stressed, so we can be better caregivers. So identifying good resources, the resources that are really going to work for you, I feel like is a huge key in helping support our loved ones. I want to thank you all so much for being caregivers. It's not an easy, and most of the time it's behind the scenes, kind of a thankless job. But I tell you, you are the unsung heroes, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for having me.